Hello, hello. What am I doing? Where's my mouse? There we go. Okay, we're doing some burner designing today, like, the normal, the usual. But today we're trying out a new mod. So, who knows? Well, might just be a bunch of learning how to use it. I feel like the base idea of it is pretty straightforward, but it's I think it was a mod made for one of the speedrunners, stage blueprint planning, which makes it easier to plan stages of the blueprint because it builds in separate stages and makes it easy to blueprint afterwards. Something like that. It seems really neat. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I should make a new save with this and just import the blueprints probably to start with. Because I'm pretty sure we just have too much random junk on the other map anyway to really get a feel for things. I don't know if it renders separate stuff, so we're just gonna do this. And this, and disable them completely. Technology, pollution off, research queue always. Oh right, that's the default now. Research queue never. Wait, has never ever been an option? Or was that new? I mean, not like it really matters. But I don't remember. I mean, I've never really looked there, I guess. Usually I just do the console command because I always forget to change it myself. Okay, was I supposed to... I don't know if I was supposed to do anything else. There we go. I forgot how long it takes to enter a world when you have all the... a large blueprint library from this book thing. Okay, so let's see, editor mode, obviously. But yeah, all I know is there's this button, which I guess we can call main base. Okay, you can't add stages. I thought there was something that you weren't able to change afterwards. Maybe the size? Or maybe that's different now. Maybe that's fixed. I remember hearing something, or I thought I remembered hearing something that you had to decide ahead of time, but I don't know, I could have imagined that. Let's see if we can actually place it. Okay, so yeah, this is obviously multiple stages, which is not great. Also, if I delete something, I'm assuming... Let's see, if I do this, it can't be mine. Is that because it's not in this stage? Oh, that's cool. So you can't, like, mess up. That's kind of neat. I have no idea how... Is there a way to... What's the way to cycle stages? There has to be one, right? Is it under mod settings? No? Right, it would be under controls. Stage. Control mouse wheel down. I was pressing it. It's just because I don't have stages, it didn't look any different. I would do it. Okay, so this was an old design, so we can delete this. This was an old design, we can delete this. This was a reminder of something I have to do later. We can put that on the blueprint book, but there's no reason to have it with us now. This was just within the blueprint, so we can delete those. Okay, so these are our lab designs. We'll mess around with those. It looks like we have... I don't know if this is 4 separate lab designs, or maybe we just kept moving it. Hard to say. I guess we'll find out. This, what was this? This was me, I think, giving an example of different ways to build things, so that's good. Power plant, ooh, actually, let's keep that. Just off to the side for testing purposes. This was my idea of how to make a smaller amount of coal work a little bit better, which I think is a good idea. Because I can basically make 2 belts of coal give me burst of 3 belts of coal if I want to with a very easy burner setup. I think that would be very much worth it. These were alternate electric or gear lanes. These one I don't need. That's just a random smelting lane. That one we don't need. This was on patch. So on patch I think will be a separate blueprint, so we don't need that. And then these were our alternate green chip designs, right? So this was the old one, this is the new one. And then I think my verdict was that it's not really that much better to do it this way. I think it's a little bit smaller. But it didn't end up being a huge saving. Don't know what this is doing over here. I'll have to compare that, because it looks like this is an alternate version of this. No idea what the difference is between the two. A lot of times when I'm like slightly changing something, I'll copy a blueprint or I'll copy it and place it like, you know, a few tiles over. So that way, if I make any changes, I can, you know, just go over here and like copy it back again rather than like saving a blueprint. Just because I have a habit of not actually saving blueprints, but doing this has been much safer for me. That's just a note for mall. Oh yeah, okay, so this one is not something I think we'll ever use because it's not good. Well, actually, wait. Wait, hold on. Is it good? The problem with this design... Okay, so the problem with this design was that it didn't really... Well, it didn't end up being that much better than the comparable design. But what if I use direct feeding here? We never looked into that, but it looks like the furnaces might barely fit. I'm not sure, because if we could direct feed like this, that would be a really cool looking... Okay, we're going to mess around with that, because we haven't fully... Before this is set in stone. Yeah, let's mess around with that first. So that's... We're going to move this over here. Too much row. Yeah, we're eating too much row over here. Okay, so this was the old design. I don't think the old design is like useful anymore. Let's see, burner drills, burner inserters. I just need to double check we have everything. Splitters we have, undergrounds we have, belts we have, signals we have, radars right there, splitter right there. Assembly machines we're producing here, here, and here. Okay, and then we have, oh, this section is pretty much the exact same. Okay, so that's everything. Cool. So we can delete that. I'm pretty confident that I won't be using this design, so that's good. We replaced this with a much better version. Well, hopefully much better version. What we haven't done though is replace stone. So yeah, we need to figure out how we're going to get stone in the new area. Because the way that I have it built now, we get stone bricks way too late to use steel furnaces as much as we are. So we need to come up with a solution to that, and yeah. I've kind of been putting it off for a bit, but it's pretty important. This was our old green ship design. Okay, so I think our old circuit, I think our new gear design is definitely better. So we don't need this. Our new green chip line is not necessarily better, but we made a backup of that somewhere, right? Yeah, that's still over there. Okay, so we can just delete this whole section then. Yep, okay, so we can just delete all these. Okay, and then we don't have the steel lane here, do we? Oh, there's the steel lane. Okay, cool. So that's everything important. We need to obviously figure out how to do steel and bricks, which seem pretty straightforward. Stone can go wherever. I don't know why I try to keep that. But obviously if we just paste this here, it doesn't work great because we go off the coal grid. There is a little bit of a gap here, but honestly not that unfortunate of a gap. Don't know what's happening here. Coal is obviously not making it through. I think it's just a speed issue. And I think part of it is because we're distributing things with inserters, which we really, we probably won't be doing. It is a little bit better in terms of like initial cost, but it also makes it not scalable unless you do 2 inserters. And I think that would end up being like 500 inserters constantly moving, which I think would be bad. And it's just hard to like, it's hard to speed things up quickly if things ever change. So we're just going to do this. So that way things start a lot faster at the speed we actually need them to, which is much more realistic. Of course, we do also need to compensate it with something like this. There you go. Let's see if these can actually move enough. And then stack size. We don't actually want this one. There we go. For most of our tests. Okay, so this will be staged burner 100. Okay, cool. Cool. So we have our base. That's some random logic. What is this? This was an old design. Let's move this over down here. Just trying to like clean up all of the extra stuff. Okay, we'll need to decide on a lab build now. But yeah, this is much nicer. And then I'm assuming if I speed it up, we can actually like kind of speed up the base again. I mean, I guess stage stuff also probably does things with UPS. Because there's no way I'm having... I couldn't be able to run this on my other base at 240, right? I feel like there's definitely some overhead with the staged base. Just for my sanity, I'm going to test that real quick. Because if I'm somehow getting 240 UPS max on this base at 5,000 inserters, we are doomed. Like, absolutely doomed. But I'm imagining it's just overhead from the mod because it's rendering so many stages at once or something. Cannot build an uncharted area. Okay, is there a better way to reveal stuff? I wonder if you can change like the starting render area, because it is kind of annoying. I have to like scan so much every time. Okay, and then let's decrease stack size. Hello, Golden. Welcome, welcome. Let's let these run for a bit. To get things actually moving. But yeah, and hopefully in a couple months I'll be doing this run. You don't think there's a vanilla way to do it? Well, if there's a modded way to do it, that would work too. Like, this is a planning stage. We can use mods. Because that would be nice. Yeah, okay, it's definitely the staged mod. You can temporarily reveal with console commands. Okay, that could work. Okay, cool. My base is not like 10 times worse than I thought it was. That's the important thing. You use friendly radar mod. Okay. Mod sounds easier just because I don't want to have to copy a console command every time. Something that's like an entity or something sounds nicer. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, especially since this is like all I basically need it for is whenever I go to like a whenever I go to test something, I have to test it in a fresh map because obviously like, you know, I'm trying to do a UPS test right now roughly. And I'm getting 240 because of the stage blueprint, but that's not realistic because this gets like 900 or something. So have to like occasionally go to a fresh map. I guess another option, that is what I have the tests. That is actually why I have this called tests. This is literally just a blank world that's been partially revealed. So maybe I just need to get better about remembering I have that. Okay, so what's the problem? These take forever to fuel. I think... Okay, so we switched to this steel lane because it saves like 50 inserters or something. Or it changes the inserters to be much better. Yeah, that's what it does. It makes the inserters much better. So this design, way nicer. Saves like 50 inserters, and the ones that are running less. So overall, just very solid. Especially since we'll need a lot of steel lane. Only issue, it's no longer on the steel grid, the coal grid. So we need to figure out how we're going to work with that. Because like we now can't put assembling machines between them and still have the ability to Well, actually, maybe this will line up. This might line up nicely with the LDS. Because we're going to be using this design for LDS, I imagine. Where we have low density structure like this. And I guess we can still output. Is there any way to get copper too? What's the ratio? It uses 2 steel for every 20 copper. So to direct feed copper would require us... Okay, if I have to choose, direct feeding copper is better. Because it looks like I would need 2 copper furnaces for every steel furnace. I wonder if I can get that ratio right. Probably not with this design. Yeah, because you need something like this, and you can't output from this. And then it also doesn't tessellate. But I can make it wider. If it's for LDS later, we can make it wider. That's way in the future, though. But basically, we have two options here with this current steel lane. So one option, we go off the coal grid, or we go off the grid. So what we can do, and does it go off on a pattern? Not really. Okay. So what we can do is we can just split one into two, and then hope that we have enough coal distribution early on, which we should. These can move a lot of coal. So even if it's just coal, it can do like 250 rows of assembly machines this way, which is an insane amount. Like, that's absurd. If I do solid fuel, it can do like 750. Both are extremely unrealistic values that we probably will not reach. What are we at now? I have no idea how I would count it. 1, 2, 3, 1, wait. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think this is just a pair as well. 16, 18, 20. I have no idea what this would be. This one's like 23. Okay, 23. 25. 26. This one's weird. I guess we can just call this one 23 again. So that would be 29, 33, or 29, 32, 35. So we're at 35. Unless we make this 10 times higher, we're good. And we can even we can fuel them all with coal. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about that if I have to split the coal lane. Because chances are this is probably about a third or probably about a quarter of the height of the build. And we can always get more coal later. But that brings up the other option, which is to just do a new coal lane here. And by coal lane, I mean probably solid fuel. And then just go on to either a new coal grid or just start getting coal. Or the other option is to just have petroleum piped throughout our base and just do solid fuel everywhere we need it. Like, that's not a terrible option. I think it would work decently well. I think because of multi-threading stuff, I don't think pipes would have a huge impact on our performance. Because I think those are handled separately, or at least that's what I've heard. So I don't think it's like it's not like a direct performance loss, a super direct performance loss, like just doubling your inserters or something. But yeah, we'll have to try that, but we can definitely just have solid fuel produced at the source nowadays. So those are our two options, if I can't make a better steel lane. But yeah, the advantage of this steel lane was that it saves a ton of inserters. Absolutely love it. What we could do, if I'm willing to waste belts, I think I could design it to work. Oh, we need to get the infinity filters again. We also need to put blueprints here. And a blueprint book. And we need this one to be at least 1. This one to be exactly. And this one to be exactly. Okay, most things we need on exactly except for the transport belts. 4 and 5. Where's that go? And then burner inserter. Yeah, we should probably have burner inserters on the hotbar, huh? Okay. But if we wanted to go on the coal grid, I think the coal grid is every 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to say every 5 tiles. Let's just find one and copy it and double check. Okay, yeah, it tessellates every 5 tiles. So that means if we want to keep this on the coal grid, we're looking at very oh, almost. Dude, that's wasting a lot of space, isn't it? One of these is unnecessary. This one's unnecessary. Okay, so now we're looking at 2 furnaces taking up what amounts to be 10 tiles as opposed to... Oh, that is a lot worse. Actually, it's not... I guess it's not that much worse, is it? 8 versus 9? No, 10? Okay, so it's only 20% wider. It looks a lot wider. It is significantly pricier, though, the other one. It has an entire extra row of coal. I don't know if that's really better. Another option is to still try to keep on the coal lane and maybe have, like, another lane going through it. Like, move these inserters around and maybe somehow get coal all the way through. But I think in that case, it ends up not being any cheaper than just going with the slightly wider version anyway. Because how wide is it, right? Like, we can make it... So right now, this is about 80 tiles wide. So we can make it this wide and stay on the coal grid if we want to, which was not a terrible option. We have this rectangle here, though. I would like to do something with this rectangle. Before we had assembler, we had red belt being produced here. Also, these are not producing for some reason. Why? Oh, there's bricks. Oh, these weren't supposed to be connected, so they got a brick lane. Whoops. That's an easy mistake. Yep, I see the problem. Okay, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. That was a test thing. Okay, so we kind of brick some things with bricks, so we kind of just have to repaste it, don't we? There we go. Honestly, we just delete the whole section, I think. There we go. Clears all of the inserters and stuff. Okay, and then we need to start doing stages. So this stuff is not going to be on stage 1 or stage 2. Or this stuff is going to be all like stage 2 and plus. This stuff is all stage 1 because it's built by hand. The only reason to separate this first part into stages would be if I don't think I can remember a general build order, but I feel like I'll be able to do that. Like, that's pretty simple. Like, build furnaces, build science mall, build rest of furnaces, build blue science. You're good. That's basically all you need to do. Okay, and then we were discussing last time redesigning the labs to have half a belt, which does limit the maximum throughput. Don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I wanted to do UPS tests on this, didn't I? Yeah, I think I wanted to do UPS tests. So this is old labs, and then new labs has this design. Yeah, I wanted to do a UPS test real quick on this. Because if the difference is pretty minor, which I think it will be, I can't imagine we'll need to worry about it. Labs. But I don't really know the effect of having like 100 separate circuit networks. Like maybe it's significant. Okay, Sage Blueprint. We did just save them, right? So let's go to tests. Yeah, this is why we have this file. Also, I've never seen my mod list be this high. It's fun. Okay, so this is the old lab design. We will give it an infinity. What are these? Are these? Oh, these are probably stage blueprint things. Zone selector, assembly analyst. Oh, they're under unsorted. Oh, that makes sense that they would go under unsorted. Where is the electric energy interface? There it is. Actually, let's just use the super substation. It's easier because then I don't have to connect power poles. Okay. This does not have the right infinity things, does it? Okay. No, it does not. Which side is green supposed to be on? Green, I think I had on this far side, which would be up here, which it does actually matter for the logic, which side of the belt each of them are on. I can change the logic, but I figured I would keep it to the design I already had. So this would be green science up top, I believe. And this would be red science. And then this would be coal. Okay, there we go. That should work nicely. And then, is there an infinite research that we can use that's infinite blue science, or do I just like unresearch everything? Maybe I just unresearch like LDS and this. That could work. That's a whole lot of fluctuation. Yeah, I doubt it matters that much. Okay, what is there a better way? What I could give them like a different chest that's giving them like purple belt, but I'm trying not to do that. Maybe I should just set up the whole thing. Maybe that's the strat. Maybe I just set up the whole thing. Because I think the design's pretty similar. Actually, yeah, that would be a better test, wouldn't it? Okay, so this is how I would set it up to work with purple. We would actually have an outer layer going around it. That's the exact same concept. Let's move this. This can go wherever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're going to be using a sushi belt with... Let's just put it on the inside, because it doesn't need logic, we can just place it there. Why do I even have this attached to logic? Oh, this is the old design. Wait, never mind. The old design is not built like that. And then for this one, I guess we can just have it connect awkwardly down here. That might be fine. Or like rotate it. Yeah, let's try to rotate it. So that means all of these go the wrong direction, which is fine. There we go. Okay, so exact same concept, except one of these is supposed to be purple on the right. And that would be this one. And then this one would be... What kind of infinity researches are there that only need 6? This one? Are there any that use purple? There we go. Let's do this one. Purple, yellow, and space. That should work. We got space over here. We have no filter. This is supposed to be purple. This is supposed to be space. And then this one is a replacement for yellow. Yellow and yellow. Okay. That should work. Now we need to put all of these on the same logic as before, which, yikes. We have to copy the whole section, right? Yeah, because this reads the local network, which is why I thought this might have issues with performance, because we're reading what will be a grand total of 200 separate circuit networks, which, I don't know, that just sounds like a lot to me. Maybe it's not too bad, but I don't know. Sounds rough. And they only run if there's coal on the belt. Okay, so now we should be able to do like infinite mining productivity to actually like test things. No? Infinite mine. Oh, I was holding shift while I was doing it. Mining product. Yeah, I was holding shift, so it was instantly researching. That's the best UPS saving. Just spawn it in. Okay, so this is fluctuating around like 1400. 1500? Also, this looks terrible. Like, this is just the messiest thing. It is impossible to tell if anything works. Just putting that out there. Okay. So yeah, that's the old design. And then the new one is this one. This is a similar concept, except it uses a coal belt, which activates everything at once to reduce the amount of circuit networks I have. So what about the cargo wagon idea? The cargo wagon idea for sciences is not good. That one is not an option. I thought we were... Because it's just too slow for burner inserters. And there's too much wasted resources. A car would be a better option than that, but it's still not a great option, considering UPS matters. But yeah, the problem with the cargo wagon idea is that you just waste too much in the wagon itself, and you still have to put everything on a circuit network anyway, so it doesn't really have a benefit. It just costs more and works less consistently. Let's put a wire here. Do we not have wires? What? I'm so confused. Oh, there they are. Okay. I was like, why the heck don't we have wires? Read, enable, disable, hold. Okay. We need to copy all this logic, though. Okay, so this one is... Oh, I copied the wrong logic. There we go. Okay, so this one will be purple. This one will be yellow. This one will be space. The order doesn't matter. Purple, yellow, and space can just go here, I guess. Yeah, that should be fine. And then copy all these. These can... they probably have to go on a different network, actually. Oh, and then I don't want prod mods in it, just to match our old design for testing purposes. But yeah, this one technically has a lower throughput, which could be problematic, but it also has the option of being a red belt, though, because of how the stuff is connected now. I don't know if it'll be better. Then we obviously have to reconnect it. I wonder if I can have them in the middle. That could work. Actually, they might be able to just grab from this. That's the wrong side, but conceptually this works, I think. Okay, now we need this logic. Okay, that should be good. Now we let it run, see if things start. Okay, so initially things are gonna not work too great. Or at all. I set the logic wrong. Oh, the top half isn't connected. Then this one, just ignore. Okay. This one does run a lot better. But is it a significant... is it a significant improvement? I guess that's what matters. Like, technically, this does run, like, 20% better with the way it's set up. But it's also having throughput issues, which could also be problematic. But it's running 20... It's like... It's running 20% better. Could just be because it's not running at all. But we also are only going to have this once. So I don't know if that... I don't know how big of a difference that will make in the actual base. Does that have any useful information? Isn't there like a... I thought there was a circuit condition part of this. Is there not? Did I imagine that? Okay, yeah, this really has problems with throughput, huh? What we could do is this. Because we can technically have this be a red belt, I think. With the new logic, they should be able to grab from that just fine. It might cause problems if it's not all red belt. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like the gaps might be a bit iffy. What if I upgrade just... What if I... Maybe I have to upgrade the inputs too? That might be better. Okay, now we speed it up again. Okay, so this does work really well with red belt. That's actually nice. That means that the disadvantage of this is significantly smaller. Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah, I definitely like that a lot. I don't like this part. This part's going to be annoying to build by hand, but that's not significant. It's like a couple seconds. Yeah, these labs are solid. Okay, so the new design works. I think this design... Let's see. Is there any disadvantage I'm missing? Well, okay, this isn't spaced properly. I think one of them is set up wrong. Huh. Interesting, interesting. I feel like there's not a good pattern here. Is it like, is this gonna brick? Does this not work with red belt? Or maybe I just need to reset it. Maybe it broke while I was building it and still doing the upgrades. It's possible that it needs to be completely red belt, which is not a problem at all. It can be 100% red belt. It's so weird that editor mode can upgrade half of those. I don't like it. Yeah, this bricks for some reason. Oh, never mind. That's an obvious reason. Okay. Yeah, is it just that the way this is designed only works for slower belts? It's possible it only works for slower belts. I haven't tried just speeding it up before. But I thought this was the design that they used in 100%. Don't they use like a blue belt there? So it should work for blue belt, right? I mean, nothing's bricked. So it's probably okay. Maybe that's not... I mean, okay, it's very low on yellow science. Like, yellow is not being distributed well. Am I reading the wrong section? Did I accidentally connect the networks? No. Hold, read, okay. Lesson 1, lesson 1, lesson 1. I think this part looks fine. Like, most of the time it looks fine. Is it this that's causing problems? I doubt it, but it is possible. Maybe I should just... I probably shouldn't connect it this way. I should probably connect it from the side. Okay. I kind of like this. I don't love it, but I think I prefer it over the other design because the fuel saturation is so much higher. Unless there's any glaring issues. And oh gosh, that looks terrible at half speed. Okay, so this is the new lab design unless there's a better option. New labs. Oh, there's a blue belt in there. Okay, that's fine. That's easy to downgrade. I really wish UPS wasn't important or timing wasn't important because I think the car or cargo wagon ideas are like, they're really funny and I think they would be interesting. It's just a shame that they have disadvantages for this kind of run. I think if I made a mega base, I would probably use them just to have variety in every single lab. Because they are pretty, they're pretty novel ideas. Like the car one, it's so dumb. What we really need is a train with science on it that just slowly moves. That won't cause problems. Okay, so let's move this. I'm just gonna make a blueprint with all of these. That's just called labs, lab variants, and then I won't lose any of them. Although I'm pretty sure all of these are the same. I was just messing around with like slightly different layouts. Lab variants. That's how you spell variants, right? Yeah. Okay, lab variants, new labs. Okay. Only downside, this doesn't... Well, one, I have to run an upgrade planner on this. That's not an issue. We can do that pretty much immediately after building it. No problem. We can just build it by hand, and then whenever we have time, we run a red belt upgrade planner over like a certain section. Although that could be annoying. Unless I like practice like a specific part to upgrade. Because basically if I upgrade too much at any given point, it's going to make my blueprints feel wrong. So I need to be careful about red belt. Because blueprints cannot upgrade belt, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what we can do, because this is at the bottom of my base, we can always redesign it again later. Also, this doesn't have a space for power poles. It is impossible for me to power. It's impossible for me to power these. That's a problem. Do I power down the middle? Wait, can I power down the middle? Yeah, okay, I can't power these. How do I do this? There's a possibility that we can make do with fewer inserters on top. Also, this doesn't have a fourth science yet, so we need room for a fourth science. So let's make sure that works before we get too excited about this idea. So this would be military science. We would need another circuit network. And then this one is military. Okay, and then I think the fix is to just add a tile in between, right? Oh wait, a tile in between doesn't work. Okay, so yeah, we would probably power them over the top and then over the bottom. That would work decently. And then one of these will just have, I'd say like every third will have one less burner. And then this isn't going to be too awkward to do because we'll have blueprints that also they're full drags, which is nice. Yeah, because of the blueprints, this isn't going to be as awful to place as it looks. We just do the power poles first, then we do all the burner drills. The circuit logic will be placed automatically, and then we're good to go. We just have to make sure we do it in that order, but I don't think that's a problem. Connect the sides, connect this side. Okay, so now it should be good on power. And then we could probably connect the... Ooh, we actually don't have to connect through here. Which would be nice because I keep getting confused by that wire. But now that we have those wires passing through, we can connect differently. Ooh, sweet. I need to give that one the logic, but aside from that, that's an easy fix. Okay, there we go. For some reason, because it wasn't running, it didn't get the disabled icon immediately, so I was not sure what was happening there. Okay. It's not connected to main power. That makes sense. Why would it be? Electric energy interface. Okay, so now, moment of truth. What researches use everything? Military science, or follower rover count, right? That's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. What the heck? Can we not research stuff and... Does that have to do with the mod, or are these disabled? These are disabled. No, it has to do with this. Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, that wouldn't really make much sense. If the mod just made it that you can't research things. I just didn't have any other guesses. Okay, read contents. There we go. Okay, that makes way more sense. Cool. Okay, we should be able to research. I think this has a max throughput of 3 point... Let's see, it's, what, 7.5 over 4 times 2? 3.75 of each science. That's actually higher than our science requirement. Of course, I think we'll have other problems, but I think that'll be fine. Because I think our science requirement, that's in, we need like 3 on average, but that's in produced science, not consumed science, which means we actually get 20% extra. One red belt seems perfect, right? For like a 30-second research. Not perfect for these. What's mining productivity? That's the one that matters. Well, okay, they all matter, but mining productivity matters too. Because our mining productivity, we have to get to about 2 levels higher than they do in a normal run. Because we need our drills to work better. Because for us, each drill that we save is 1 inserter. Constantly running, pretty much. Well, not 1 inserter constantly running, but... You know, you get 1 tier of mining productivity, and you probably save like 1,000 inserters total that are running non-stop. Which is massive. That's like an entire... It's like half of an outpost or something. Okay, so we would probably need beacons somewhere, but honestly, this is working decently. How much science do I really need? Maybe this is enough. Probably not enough. It's probably ambitious of me to think this is enough. Let's see. Because like I said, I needed consumption. No, I needed production. How do you measure science per minute counting the research time? If that makes sense. Like I know if I wanted, maybe I just add 20% to it. That's probably right. So if I just look up like all the sciences we're consuming. All right, I keep saying per minute, per second. Whenever I say 3, it's per second, not per minute. we're aiming for above 3 per minute, I swear. So this is like 5 per second somehow, which doesn't make sense at all. Do we have another lab somewhere that's running? Or can I not do math? Maybe it hasn't balanced out yet. Maybe it could just be relying on internal buffers. That feels wrong. That definitely feels off. Science. Because this can't move enough. Can it? This is moving half of a red belt at a time. Or a quarter of a red belt at a time. Which is 3.75. Consumption, I think, is weird. I don't think consumption works. Yeah, because it like combines science packs. So is there actually a way to measure it? Anybody who does megabases, how do you get science per minute? Do you have to measure it based on production, probably? And then just make sure things aren't backed up? I feel like I'm missing something. Because I know there's something weird with science packs combining, and that either does or doesn't count towards production. Although that might only matter when that might only matter when chaining labs. It might not matter in this case. I'm just very confused why these numbers are so high. But we do have another option. So if I do have throughput issues, we can do an extension halfway on the side. Will this research fast enough? I haven't really done math to how many labs I need. But yeah, I really don't know how many I need. Hello, Pandabo. We are currently, I was testing out a new lab design. It's like the old design, except instead of having coal on logic, or instead of having everything on logic, we just have we basically put our outpost logic here, so that way we don't have 200 separate circuit networks. It's just 2 circuit networks now. I don't know if that will matter. Wouldn't it be cheaper to build fewer labs with 9 inputs but more beacons? It's not about being cheaper, really. At this point. This is about having something that works for the starting base. No, it's not. In my case, I don't care about that. But it would save you quite a lot of resources? Not really. It saves some. You're not. It's not a lot of resources, man. It's really not. I'm not fighting about this. I'm not fighting about the cost of like 50 modules in a 12-hour run. If the performance is better, that's a different story, but I don't think the performance would be different either. Because it would be significantly different. Not the modules, but the science? How would it save that if they're prod 3s? Are you just talking about like the leftover science that's in the lab at the end? More beacons and fewer labs. Yeah, but what does that save? You're saying it doesn't save the modules, it saves the science. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not. I don't. Can you explain why it's saving science, though? Speed caps at 1 craft per tick, but prod does not. I mean, considering we're not maxing out the beacons, that doesn't really matter that much. I don't think. But how does it get more prod cycles? Like, I could see it getting like 1 more prod cycle total. But like, over the course of 50,000 science, that argument is usually for if you have like 40 labs and you stop at a launch. I mean, you are right. It does get more prod cycles. It just doesn't get that many more. It gets like let's say you have 10 labs or like 30 labs and 16. You're more likely to have fewer wasted prod cycles with these than these. But that's not going to be a significant difference. Like, unless it somehow makes a difference between an entire launch or something. I can't imagine that will be a huge change. But, like, it is right. Smaller builds do use less. It's just not a significant amount. Easy to check to measure research done for 500 science. What do we check for that? Consumption? I guess consumption probably works. But again, it probably doesn't matter because that's not what the concern is here. If we decide to do a second build, we will probably do extra speed modules. But with this design, I doubt it. If you have less labs but they craft weight faster, would that not get you more prod cycles faster, meaning you would get more science? No, not really. You get the prod cycles per science used. Unless maybe there's like some exceptions if you get insanely fast, like maybe you can max out a lab or something, but considering we probably have enough research with this, I think we're good. So I'm not too worried about it. But if we do decide we need more research, we'll do a second lab design, and that one would probably be designed the way you're talking, or the way you're thinking. I'm just thinking right now I probably get enough research just repurposing the original layout. But I had this crazy idea today to repurpose this lane, and I kind of think it actually works, which is weird. Oh my god, it works. Do I want to do this? Is this a bad idea? Oh, why does it work so perfectly, though? You would basically get the same amount of cycles. It wouldn't make a difference between 1 lab with beacons and 2 labs. Yeah, the only way I could see it making a difference is if, like, you had your science tuned down so much that, like, you could save 1 launch with, like, very specific cycles. And there probably are some edge cases where that's possible. Like, it doesn't sound impossible. I don't think it applies here, but I feel like there are some cases where that could happen. But yeah, I might work on a new lab design because there is a good chance we will need more lab speed. I really need to redo my calculations because that does change it. Right now, my estimates say that's enough, but if I'm being honest, they're very rough estimates. They're very rough estimates. Okay, so this is my new idea. Oh, it looks awful. Does it have any downsides? Ooh, it's hard to get. Ooh, How do you power the one inserter that puts copper into the wire inserter? I have not placed them yet. Thank you. It worked down here. I accidentally got the alignment up. I got the alignment off on the top one. Thank you. Probably should have done that before I copied it, huh? That means these are probably misaligned. Okay. There we go. There we go. That should fix it, right? Yeah, good catch. I would have started it and just been really confused why it was not working on the bottom half like it was on the top. Okay, there we go. I think I missed one somewhere, but it should be fine. This is mirrored. Okay, I think this actually simplifies things too. This means I can now output from the green wire. Okay, cool. Or the green chip assembler. Okay, so this ends there, and then the green chip output. I don't love that. Really don't love that. Does that even work? This would output on... that doesn't work. I mean, there's ways around it. Like, that's not the end of the world, but that complicates things, huh? I thought there was a little bit more space to work with. It can almost do this, which would be perfect, except we have this coal belt here. This could work. This works. Oh, it's awful, but it works. Okay, that works. Let's go with it. We have something functional. Let's stick with it. We'll figure something out. We'll redesign it later if we decide we hate it. But it works. Only downside is we have to make sure coal goes specifically on the left side, which is fine. We can do that. I don't think this is going to be worth it. I just thought the idea of this was really cool. And this might actually be worth it later. Don't know if it's worth it now, because it's so expensive, but it's probably going to be our red chip design. If I had to guess. I would not be surprised if this is how we made red chips. Which just feels weird, but hey, it works. Probably. We should probably confirm it works first before I get excited. Okay, so let's do solid fuel. We'll have solid fuel by this point. Okay, so which ones need the coal? That would be this one. Okay. Delete it, paste it, delete it, paste it. Okay. Think that's right? Okay, I think that's everything there. Okay, let's run it, see how it works. Or see if coal gets sent to the proper channels. Okay, we are still missing coal in a lot of places, but that's fine. Okay, now we paste these, paste, and there's one more place for coal, right? Yeah. Okay, does that work? I think everything gets coal. Okay, and then we have, let's see, inside is iron lane, outside is copper. There has to be a better way to sideload things, but I mean, this works. I don't think the side matters for the coal lane, which is nice. Wait, that's the wrong way. And then this is supposed to be iron, and then we do the same thing on the top. Okay. Mirror it. This is a weird connection, but sure. There we go. Technically functional, right? That's what matters. And then we give it a affinity accumulator and a super substation, and we should be good. Sure hope I built it properly. There's a very, very strong chance I didn't. But it's so nice looking. Well, okay, maybe not nice looking. It looks like something. We don't have a way to output from this side, though. I think this side doesn't have a problem with outputs, though. Does it? What side of the belt does this go on? Wow, we forgot a lot of belts, huh? Okay, so we do have outputs. We do have problems there. Do we? Why does this test light different than the top one? Oh. So this has to go here. Okay, so we can't output from this. I mean, we can output from this, we just can't output it like this. So if we want to output, we have to output it up top, which not a huge deal. Not a huge deal at all. Might make it a little bit wider though, so it probably ends up not being worth it. Which, I mean, I think it already wasn't worth it, but now it's probably definitely not worth it. That's a lot of modifiers to the word probably. doesn't give me confidence. Okay, this should work. This still doesn't have coal. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be fun connecting coal to all of our mismatched designs. I'm very much looking forward to that. That's gonna be an adventure. Okay, we're just gonna go straight through, just for testing purposes. We can save entities later, or never. Haven't decided yet. Okay, rotate that. We should be good, and there we go. Okay, this seems functional. I mean, everything seems to be working, which is a good sign. How many assembling machines does it have? 1, 2, 3, 5? We need an infinity loader going into a chest at the end to make sure it actually works. But I think this is good. Yeah, it's a neat little design. It's basically an alternative to... It's an alternative to this. So this is what it's competing against. Obviously, one of them looks a lot less complex and a lot cheaper. How's the inserter count? 136 to 180. That's because the assembler count is different though, right? Okay, so we can add 50% to this and call it the same. So that makes it pretty comparable. Somehow this uses more inserters, which is weird. That shouldn't be happening. They should be identical. This is literally just a folded version of this, but with extra modules to make it that it uses the smelted stuff faster. How does this have more inserters? I'm very confused. 180, 136. Maybe I don't multiply it by 50%. Maybe I multiply it by a different number. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they're not comparable in that way. That's possible. Do I have anything else producing green chips right now that will affect tests? Let's see, we have that one. The others are backed up. Okay. So let's just leave this to back up for a bit. Yeah, the production compares. This somehow does not have any, is not producing anything, which is bad for testing purposes. Not the greatest. Okay, how did I miscopy that like 3 times? Should I just copy like way more than I need? There we go. Surely this is right. Surely this somehow gets the iron it needs. And also is a gear assembler. Yeah, okay, this definitely has everything. We don't need this top line. Wow, the start time for this is huge. Oh, it's because this isn't getting full belts. This is getting one inserter worth. Okay, well, what are the downsides to this? I feel like entity count's smaller. I don't know. Is it more compact? I think I need to make this more compact if I want it to work. What we could do is we can have more undergrounds here. That would be nice. Okay, we can't make much of that in underground. We can make these all in underground though. Because the copper 100% will not line up with this. That means it goes here, and then we copy that a few times. Because, yeah, if we can't make this more compact, it's not going to have any benefit. Because that was kind of its original intent, to try to be more compact for something that we have to build a ton of. Because it adds up when you have that many. Okay, and then we also, there is a possibility we can send the green chips that way? Probably not. No, never mind. I don't think that's a possibility. No, that's crazy talk. Yeah, we can't do that. I thought maybe there is a chance. I was slightly hopeful for a bit. Not for long, but you know, there is a chance. Yeah, this design's pretty neat. What else can we do? Wait, this doesn't work. Okay, so we can't get fuel and make it more compact. That's unfortunate. Can we? Actually, yeah, we can. We'll just use extra undergrounds. Never mind. Not a problem. Yeah, we can use undergrounds. That's no biggie. Undergrounds are cheap. At this point in the run, they'll be super cheap. Because this will be pretty far into the bot phase. We should have like 10 belts of iron probably going into undergrounds by this point. I don't know. That's just a guess, but we'll have a lot of underground production. I think entity saving at this point. Entity and inserter saving at this point matters way more than saving on undergrounds. Okay, cool. That outputs nicely. We can also increase its size, which is gonna be awkward. Because we want to try to fill up the whole belt. Is this stack size limited at all? No, it is not. It is purely iron limited. That's actually good. If we're... Oh. Yeah, if we're iron... Ooh, that's good. I wonder if this can be a module. Or does that matter? Yeah, this is iron limited, so... That means this won't improve with stack size improvements. That's good. Which I think that's a positive. Guess I can't really say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's a good thing. Because it means it means it's never going to run, like, partially. And I think partial running is not good, because it just means wasted resources over time. Give an input there, and an input there. So we can probably try to utilize an entire iron lane if we're iron limited. The ratios are just so messed up, though, with something like this. I have considered making one of these a stone furnace. That's an option. But that uses more coal. So I think I would rather waste the furnace than waste the coal. Because stone furnaces use twice as much coal per resource as a steel furnace, which normally doesn't matter, but in some... when you're using as much fuel as we are, I think it's something to consider. It's not like a huge... not a huge point of optimization, but it is something that I don't want to... that I want to limit if I can. Okay, so now these should be comparable, right? 36 furnaces, 36 furnaces. Okay, now we can compare the production. Kind of. Right. Yeah, downside of having everything on a coal grid, it's really hard to test stuff. We can give it nuclear. Honestly, yeah, let's give it nuclear fuel. And we'll keep exactly 10. We'll just feed everything nuclear fuel. Because I don't think... the fuel inserters shouldn't have a significant impact. Well, what is this? Why can't I go... What's Control A do? What? Why can't I press Control and A at the same time? How do I tell that? Control plus A, right? Control plus A. Switch to staged copy tool. Ah! It's from that mod. Okay. Let's change that. Control plus A. What would be... Control Shift A, maybe? I don't know what that tool does, so I can't really justify... using it. Okay, so looking at these, this doesn't really look more compact because of how much taller it is and how much less wide it is. So that is unfortunate. But if it produces a lot more, that changes things a little bit. We can ignore all of these in the assumptions. All we have to look at is All we have to look at is this section. This is 57 by 20. This one, let's say it tessellates here. Right? Yeah. And this one is 61 by 17. Those seem very similar. Those seem pretty much identical areas, right? Like, at least in term, like, they're like the same magnitude. There isn't like a huge percentage difference. Like, what's this one's 1140 and the other one is 61 by 17. That's subtraction. Wait, how did I even get that number? Yeah, so this one is slightly smaller, and it's probably a better shape. But does it produce more? Let's test that. Delete it, fast forward as much as we can go, which is not that fast. Oh wait, they're not running. They're not running anymore. That's not a great way to test it. Okay. So it should reach a steady state pretty soon. So if we look up electronic circuits, we can look at the production over the course of like 5 seconds. Yeah, okay, it's like 600. Probably peaks every time there's a prod mod spike. So yeah, 6 to 650. This one, on the other hand, I wonder if the performance different. I wonder if there's a performance difference. There shouldn't be a performance difference, at least not a significant one. Wait, that number looks a lot higher. That's a lot higher. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Was the other one not running fully? There's no way this produces that much more. Something's off here. It's definitely been like 5 seconds though, so that's probably fairly accurate. Okay. What's the problem here? Did we not let it get to a steady state? We didn't. This is the one that we have to hand feed. I think only some of them were running, right? Unless we didn't undo it. Maybe we didn't delete that one. But that number just seems off to me. Let's give it fuel. Yeah, I just don't see... I don't see a world where this only produces 600 per second. I really don't. While the other one produces 1100. Unless one of these is incredibly limited by something I'm not realizing. But considering the only difference is one prod and one speed module, it really shouldn't matter. I'm so confused. What am I possibly missing? Why is it so low? Are these all running? They are all running. Did I accidentally have something running when I did the other one, maybe? Okay. Test 1. What am I doing wrong? What is that sound? There's a really weird sound right now. It kind of sounds like a CD skipping, but that doesn't make sense. Because it's 2024. I don't think anyone's listening to a CD. Especially not on like a giant... Okay, I'm not describing a record, by the way. It sounds like there's a really giant CD player that's skipping. But it's like a different sound than like a skipping record. I have no idea what it could be, but something's making scratching sounds. Okay, I guess how much can a belt support? 15 times 60, so 900. Yeah, why was I getting a 1500 on the other one? What the heck? It wasn't 2 belts, was it? The old design? Because this seems reasonable, about 550. Maybe maybe I hadn't deleted that bottom one. Could that be it? I definitely did something wrong. I just don't know exactly what mistake I made. Does it take a while to update this per minute? Is that it? Even if you look at like a 5-second window? These aren't producing anything, right? Those aren't producing anything. I'm so confused. These are idled. These aren't getting fuel. These aren't getting fuel either. I mean, based on these estimates, this is 3 times as good for the same amount of space. So something is clearly off. And I'm very confused. There has to be something else running, right? I mean, it is possible that they produce like 60% better. Like that is, or 30% better. That is entirely possible. But a transport belt peaks at 900 resources per minute. So that number is insane. Completely insane. What if I just cut power? Oh, is it because of the staging? Is it like a problem with the stage mod? Does it count every stage? It might be counting every stage. And maybe the other one wasn't in every stage. No, it should be. Like, even if the number is absurdly high, they should be they should be the same. Is this better or worse? Okay, I think we just have to take the blueprints to a different one because this is one of the designs I wanted to like figure out. Let's go to tests. Let's go to the test worlds. Are you sure you want to wait, no, I'm supposed to be loading right now. There we go. Wait, did I put it in my blueprint book? I don't think I put it in my blueprint book. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Because we have tests. That's the same test. Well, okay, so something tells me that I need to get better at naming my saves. It's just a feeling, you know? Also, did I save this one recently before I moved that? I know I saved it a new one as tests, but I don't know if it had the updated build. No, it did not. Okay. So yeah, good thing we did not accidentally overwrite tests. Sorry, test 1. Not to be confused with tests or tests. Okay, now we can blueprint this. That is the local blueprint right there. There we go. Okay, now we should definitely save this as stage burner 100 so we don't lose it. Although the only thing it added is that, which we have in our blueprint book, so it's not a good deal or a big deal. Okay, and then for this test, I guess we don't have any projects, so that's good. Okay, let's figure out what we did wrong here, which is probably the answer is a lot. Also, we're putting this on the coal grid. We're 100% putting it on the coal grid, so that way I can stop pasting it every time. Okay, delete those, delete those. There we go, and now we have something we can copy a few times and make this so much nicer. Okay, coal there is gonna be weird. Coal all of these places is gonna be weird. How are these in the way? There we go. Okay, it's on the coal grid. This is also on the coal grid. Now we can also run them way faster, so they get tested faster, which is nice. We're just gonna give it coal. That shouldn't make a difference. Okay, moment of truth. Now we can actually hopefully test which one is better. It's I know I have a rate calculator. It's really weird to do rate calculator stuff with burner inserters because it's usually limited by something that isn't the assembling machine. So the calculators aren't fantastic about estimating it. That's why I have to do tests for all of these. Okay, let's do top one first. Let's give it its own power source too. Okay, that seems reasonable. About 486 per minute. And then the other one is this design at less somehow. Wait, no, that's over the 10-minute range. 1-minute range. It's comparable. Okay, so the only reason to use the other one would be maybe once I get stack size it might matter. No, we're using up. I think we're using up all the iron in both of them. So I don't think there's really an advantage. That's a shame because I thought this was really cool. I was really hoping this would work out. It might. I think before I did direct feeding, this was a good design, but now that I have the direct feeding, the change just isn't enough. Because this was an alternative to the old circuit lane, which didn't have direct feeding, which used a lot of extra inserters. So this is actually made as an inserter design, not a compact design. Yeah, okay. Unfortunate. One of them might have more iron at the end. How do I test that? I guess I could do an infinity chest with that. To remove only one side and then over here. Because if one of them has like, if one of them uses significantly less resources, that's decent. But I think that's not really an advantage of one design. I think that's just because one of them has prod modules and the other one doesn't. That seems, wait, what? Is this not set up correctly? This is using an entire lane of iron somehow. This one isn't. Oh, wait. These have prod modules in them. That doesn't make sense. So this one's using more iron, but it doesn't have anything that would disproportionately change how much iron it uses. So that's weird. Like this one should have less copper consumption. Oh, there it is. It's because the iron is being used on two sides. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Actually, yeah, it does. Never mind. Yeah, this one's having so much backed up because it's one iron lane split two ways, whereas this is one full iron lane. Okay. Yeah, no advantage. This uses slightly less copper, but, you know, we can do this, and now they both use less copper. Unfortunate, but that happens. Some designs just don't work out. Okay, so what's next then? Because I wanted to try to see if that worked before I started pasting things together. We do have a blueprint of it. Let's save that as staggered circuits. Yeah, which is just worse in every way. But I guess that's what happens when you make a new design. Because that was technically the old design that I based this one off of. I just hadn't compared them yet. Okay, so the mall looks good. Okay, so steel and steel furnaces. This part is tricky. This part is very finicky. So the problem with this is that one, we're wasting a little bit of space here, which isn't huge. Like it's not a game-breaking amount of space that we're wasting here. Like it's only like 6 tiles that's this wide. Like it could just be a robot section. Honestly, yeah, we can put robots there. We can also put robots here. There's actually a lot of spots to put robots in the steel lane. That's kind of nice. We can't really place them on the edge, but we could probably place them there. Yeah, okay. So we can figure out robot stuff. Is there any like any other design I could put here? See, this is using all the bricks, I imagine. I would be surprised if it's not using all the bricks. If not, though, I could extend it. We could do more steel furnace production. Because the thing is, this is produced late. We kind of need to burst out some extra production. So we might turn more into steel furnaces. Or we can put steel furnaces here. What if I do a small steel furnace lane? Let's see. We have... Where do we have steel being produced? Here. I think this is a steel lane. And steel is annoying because it uses... I think we have to hand feed coal into steel, which is a bit annoying. Or use a lot of inserters. Actually, yeah, we need more inserters in the steel lane. This doesn't work. Like, it technically works, but there's a good chance it doesn't work depending on coal timing, so it's not a design I want to do. Unless... Where does the coal come from? There's a possibility if we prioritize the coal and don't load it with like an inserter, we can guarantee that we get coal here first. There's never going to be more coal here than there is here. So that's an option. So that would basically look like this. We send coal. Let's say it comes through the middle. This one we're just going to put here. It would prioritize left, I guess? No, probably right. No, probably left, actually. And then that can just be there. And then this can split off again. You go that way? It's a bit weird, but I think it works. If I could add a tile between the two, that would also be nice. Okay, that's the wrong side. Conceptually, that works. That's the general idea. Why is there no sound? There we go. Here we go. Okay. And then, again, this now prioritizes to the right. And side loads here. Okay. Conceptually, I like this. It doesn't work if coal doesn't come from this side, though. But the idea here is to make it that coal will always make its way to this middle lane before it makes its way to the outer lane. And the reason for that is if coal goes here first, these inserters die. So you have two fixes. You can either prioritize the coal, or you can double up on inserters and spend like 50 extra inserters. Not sure which one's the better design yet. But we have them both there just in case. We could also do both. That would be a very safe way to design it. Okay, these are not connected to fuel. That's fine. This was just a test. Okay. Production seems to be good there. Okay, so where do I do steel furnaces? We could do a steel furnace lane. We could do like a small brick lane off to the side. Because there's a very good chance, like if we shift this up just a little bit, we can do bricks here. Honestly, it really feels like a bad idea to do bricks where I'm doing it. Let's make a copy of this. Keep it local. What does an actual run do? This is their first bot blueprint. Their first bot blueprint. I forgot how long it takes to paste the blueprints, especially in staged. Because it just pasted it 3 times, right? Yeah, I need to get used to the stage mod. We haven't really utilized it yet. But it should be useful. But yeah, their first blueprint. Let's eliminate the blinking. Show into detail. Wait, which one is it? Status icons? Yeah, status icons. It's a very nice setting that someone pointed out. Okay, so their first blueprint here does... This is a bot build. These were all hand-built earlier. Yeah, these are the starting lanes that are hand-built. They do steel furnaces later, but they also, I think, had a steel furnace production earlier somewhere, right? Like, wasn't there like a small... Isn't there a small steel furnace production somewhere in the 100% lane? Yeah. So this is off to this side. So we could 100% do this. That would not be a problem. Also, I just realized we're kind of expanding things in a different direction. I might have to... I don't know. Currently, the way I have it set up, I'm building on the edge of the base. I haven't really considered building in the middle. But that might change designs a little bit. But I think building on the edge isn't really... I don't think that's a problem. At least not for this kind of base. Because we do have some awkward coal expansions that we have to deal with that other designs don't. Hold on, my headphones are incredibly tangled around me right now. I'm very, very locked up. Okay. Yeah, they build all these by hand, and then the bot stuff expands. I guess they're not really in the middle. They're kind of like... Wow, yeah, okay. I need to be more careful with cutting and pasting and stage. This takes forever. Okay. So comparing it to ours, currently we start here and we build up, but theirs starts there and they build down. I don't think there's really a difference between the two, so yeah, we can make that work. We just have our base kind of mirrored, which is totally fine. I was just kind of building it how it made sense to me. I don't know if it matters in terms of power. I guess we can put power wherever, so we can make anything work. we would probably just have power on the opposite side. Okay, so that means, yeah, we can do that. We can do a stone brick lane on top, especially since we need landfill. Probably starting by this point, so bots can start placing things. So yeah, there's no reason for us not to have a small brick production up here. Only downside is our small brick production is very far from the steel lane, but we do have steel here, so that's not too bad. I am trying to think though, if we do a brick lane here, that wastes about 24 belt, which is, or 24 underbelt, which is not good. 24 underbelt earlier, like before we have anything automated, which I don't love. Unless we can make a compact. There is, oh, okay, I just thought of an idea. Had an idea. If we can make a compact stone brick lane that is 3 tiles wide, the stone brick lane can be more expensive. Or not even like 3 tiles wide, but like, if we can fit it in here, that could be great. Because I'm totally fine wasting the bricks later. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Wait, no, that's not a bad idea. Okay. So here's my idea. Now, instead of wasting a bunch of underground, we just have to use a little bit extra belts, which is still not ideal. Actually, is that worse? That's so much belt. Okay, so we're wasting about 100 belt this way. Although, that's if we want to rely on smart belt. If we don't want to rely on smart belt, we can use a lot less. We can use way less. But the idea here is that we do a brick lane, but the brick lane will be built entirely with undergrounds, making it way more expensive, but something we can do later. Otherwise, we have to put it on the other side. Like, we could do a brick lane here. That's an option too. And have like this coal lane down the middle. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. I mean, this is a lot of belt early. Like, this is a 50% increase in belt early, right? No, 65. Okay, it's a 25% increase in belt early. How much is that? That's like a minute. That's like 30 seconds to a minute of production. Because depending on how many assembly machines we have, that's a fair amount. Which one's easier to build? This one would be weird to get coal into, but it's possible. Stone is easy to get here. Honestly, the fact that this is on the edge, though, makes it a lot easier to get... Would make it a lot easier to get landfill here. Yeah, I think we can swing this. And then it doesn't need to be on the coal grid, I think. Okay, I have an idea. I don't normally use splitters here, but because this isn't on the coal grid, it's probably worth using a splitter. Not sure, though. But brick lanes use double inputs and 1 output. Not necessarily because of build speed, but because of consistency. They're not consistency, but reliability. Burner inserters are not good. You know, we've mentioned that before, but yeah, they're still not good. But yeah, I don't know if I can justify making a new coal grid here. So what I'm thinking is we instead do the splitters here, and then have coal come from like over here, probably with a splitter as well, and it just side loads wherever. Now this doesn't work. This requires hand feeding. I forget. That's why I don't do this. This doesn't work. This needs circuit logic. I don't think I want to put circuit logic on a stone furnace lane. I also don't need this much. There is an option. How many stone bricks can I get with 1 stack of coal? Like, what if I just do the outputs? And it dies later, or gets built by bots later or something. That is 100% an option, and it's not a bad option. Honestly, it can just brown out, and it's probably fine. So if I feed 12 burner drills, a stack of coal, that's like 1,000 coal each? No, it's like 60 items. 60 items times 50. Yeah, that's like 3,000. Okay, you know what? We're gonna hand feed it, I think. I think this is the only way I can justify doing a brick lane on the side. Super easy to connect to. So now, basically, the design looks like this. All we have to do is feed the output inserters, and then bots can eventually automate the input inserters if we need, otherwise we don't worry about it. So stone comes from here, and then bricks are here, and then I think we can just send the stone bricks down if we really want to, or this extra stone down. Actually, there isn't any extra stone, is there? Yeah, there's extra stone. Okay, and then these get hand-fed. This is the only hand-fed design we have in our entire base that isn't in the starting mall. Which means it can go wherever. It could go in the starting mall, honestly. Maybe we just put it in the starting mall and then we don't stress about it. And then this goes over here with the steel. And voila. This only crosses the belt one time, so we're good. What else is on this belt? This is a full steel lane. I think if we sideload this right there, this can be a combined steel and stone brick lane, which is very good for steel furnaces. We just need to confirm there's nothing else there. And it looks like there's not, because it's not fully set up. Perfect. So now we can do a small steel furnace production here. Very easily. Kind of. I think we'll have to manually change a belt. Because I don't see a great way to build this that doesn't require us to redesign some things. Because we can't design this with, I guess we could build this. No, we can't build this with an underground right away. We don't have access to those. I mean, we do, but we don't have them readily available. Because we have to build this entire lane, this entire section, and this part of the mall. So we need about 150 undergrounds already. Plus like 500 belt before we get any kind of belt automation that isn't like directly from the burner lane, the burner mall. So we're really trying to minimize them here. Should I just hand feed the? I guess the idea here, if we're hand feeding these, we can hand feed. We can hand feed this, and then output is easy, right? Well, it's still not easy. What is this lane? Okay, this one isn't connected yet, so we can output here. We could do one input and one output. This isn't a terrible option. Basically, I'm trying to minimize the undergrounds that are used here and trade them for undergrounds that are used here, because this wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, this is fine, right? This is incredibly slow producing, but it does work. These get hand-fed. Let's just give them solid fuel for now. How do I make a note of this? To-do list, maybe? Hand feed stone lane? I don't love that, but I mean, it works. But yeah, this will let us get stone furnaces, or steel furnaces, because basically our old design, or this new design here, we have to build, let's see, how many furnaces do we have total? 300, we have about 500 furnaces. We have to build 500 steel furnaces while we only have stone furnaces, because we haven't been buffering them at all by the time we paste all these blueprints. And we still have these upgrades to do, which is just not a great combination. This works decently. If I care about throughput, I could move it here. I don't think I can move it any higher, but I can definitely move it there. Now we could also have the steel lane go here. That also works. Steel lane on one side, brick lane on the other. That will let me get a much higher speed. Let's see, this will be, at this point, this will be running at 0.6 per second. How many furnaces is that? That has to be pretty low, right? Infinity chest. Loader. Wait, I always place this wrong. One day I'll learn. Steel, and then let's give it bricks. Okay, let's just pretend it's running full speed, see how many we actually get. I don't think it's going to be a ton. Also, we need to unresearch all of the stack sizes. which is unfortunate because they're very useful. But once these, I don't think we'll have stack size immediately after these go up. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. There's a move to stage button, so you don't have to like replace it. Oh, that's awesome. This is such a cool mod. Okay, this is pretty slow, but how slow is it really? Steel furnaces, 6 per minute. Nah, that's pretty slow. that's pretty bad. Uh, and it's probably spiking, so who knows? This estimate is barely even close. Yeah, it looks like it spikes to 12 and then drops back down. Okay. Yeah, this is not gonna work. We could hand feed it. Would that work? Let's see. Do I want to remember to hand feed? I think. Okay, I'm limiting the amount of hand feeding I'm doing already, right? I think I can trust myself to hand feed one time in the run. Because every other design, we don't have to do any hand feeding after the burner mall. And this would be the last instance of hand feeding. And it would let us double the throughput by hand feeding it like half a stack of coal. How many would that make though? We're looking at 16. So we're looking at, if we do half a stack each, that's 50 coal total. So that is 60 items times 50. So that's 3,000 divided by 16. We're looking at about 200 furnaces probably each. If we do 25 coal, that's not a ton. But if we do 50 coal into each, we're looking at about 500 furnaces. That is enough to get to this. Barely, but it is enough to get to this section. Right? Oh wait. I did not highlight all of them, did I? Okay, never mind. It's not enough to get there. Because, yeah, we need 800 furnaces before steel furnaces are automated. Yikes. Maybe we don't need to upgrade all these. Maybe we can, if we cannot upgrade these, we can go a lot longer. Yeah, this is too slow. Also, it would take ages for them to actually build. Okay, if I have to do more than 2, I'm thinking it would be faster to have steel and bricks on different sides. So what I'm thinking is stone goes here somehow, probably here, because I think we need to leave space for a stone supplement. And then bricks go here. Does that work? Yes. Yes, that should be fine. Yeah, okay, I think we're good here. I don't know if I needed that. Well, we're going to assume I don't. That's the assumption we have to make right now. Okay, now we can just move where that goes. Okay. Ooh. That's cool. I don't know why that was showing like that, actually. Because now it's not. I wonder what made that highlight. But important thing, now we have 1 input, 1 output, and 2 inputs. So this should have a much nicer ratio. Like, significantly better ratio. It should work 3 times as fast as well, which is worth 2 extra belt drags, I gotta say. Steel furnace, and then we build it 1 more time here. These will be vertical belts. Those will be very easy to drag. Yep, okay, we should be good. Because this is where our coal grid is, so these will just be straight belts. Okay, cool. I like this. This fits. We can even move it down a couple tiles if we need. And we can combine them after this lane, but this is just a good way to get the right belt balance. Because this is pretty close to perfectly balanced. They're almost a 2-to-1. It's more like a 10-to-6 ratio, but it's close enough. Now we should have 3 times the steel furnace production, right? Yeah, 3 times the steel furnace production. This is way nicer. 40 per minute. Yep. Okay, we are totally good here. I like this way nicer. Way more. Is that actually the estimate, though? Well, okay, but because of stage, the number's off. But the important thing is higher. I think like 10 to 15 per minute would be fine. I guess I could estimate it with the inserters, right? If we have 16 items over the course of divided by 0.6, that's 26 seconds. That's not right. Oh, that was original. Okay, so it's 8 seconds per steel furnace with this design times 2. So yeah, that's about 15 per minute. Well, so our other one was less than like 5, or it was about 5 per minute, which is not even close. Okay, so that means this is good here. We need stone, which I imagine will snake through the middle. This also needs to go up like a single tile, which is kind of annoying. See, where does this align? Can this go up a tile? Ooh, if it can have that gap here, things are nice. Things look much nicer. Because now this can be our stone furnace lane that just connects right through here, which I'm realizing now is a rough connection. But I think that's good. Yeah, okay, that works perfectly. That's done with bots, so it's good. Also, this entire section is built with bots, so there will be a lot of belt savings here. We just haven't done it yet. Figured we'd do that at the end. Okay, and now for the steel lane. The steel lane goes off the coal grid. What if we make a new coal grid? I think that's what I'm leaning towards. Because hear me out. If we try to switch the coal grids, we need like an underground here, and then we split it. We make it like 3 tiles wider. And we still are off the coal grid, so we can't continue it after that. So it's already like, the damage is already done. But if we cut the coal grid here and say, hey, this is the end of this portion of the base. We no longer need coal to come from this side. Now we make a new coal grid here with this steel lane. Now we can place it wherever we need. But now we get coal from this top side, and we can just do whatever we want with it. Because we call this the half lane. We have new coal coming in from the side, or new solid fuel. There maybe have some solid fuel being produced here. So that way we don't have everything on one side, and I think things are a little more balanced. Downside, this can't... If I improve it, I have to improve it everywhere now. Whereas this way, if I just had a continually expanding solid fuel lane right here, we'd be good. So it is... I don't know, it is weird. I feel like continually improving solid fuel sounds nice. Because I would like to just be able to paste stuff. But who knows, maybe this is the end of the coal grid. Maybe once I get off the coal grid, we can start doing specialized designs. Because there is a very real possibility that matters a little bit. This can go here. I don't know why I had those split with an underground. I think it was just entity savings, actually. There we go. Because, yeah, there's no coal in this belt, not with this kind of steel furnace lane. Okay, and then these are self-feeding. I don't love that. These can't be self-feeding. They also no longer get fuel. I mean, they can be self-feeding. There's no reason for these to be self-feeding. We have the space to work with. There is absolutely no benefit here. It saves 1 chest, I think, to have them self-feed. Something like that. Yeah, we're not gonna self-feed. Okay. So we want a ratio of 1 to 2. Ideally, we want more, but this would work. We can get more input from the side if I really want to. I mean, if I do decide this is the end of the lane, we can be a bit more creative here. But I don't want to commit to that quite yet. But like, we can get extra furnaces if we decide this is not the end. And now these can output wherever. I think we should output onto a belt. I want the steel furnaces onto a belt, because there's a good chance we can use this steel furnace assembler for future lanes, like for a major outpost, and that would be very nice. Is that possible though? How do we output onto a belt? I forget. I think we go like this. Yeah, okay, that works fine. That works fine, I think. It might not tessellate though. Because the steel furnace is here. Yeah, another lane here, another lane here. Yeah, I think we can make this work, but that complicates things. So yeah, we have to just say this is the end of the... If we want to make this work, we have to say this is the end of the grid. I guess we can have an end cap. Hello, Tice. Welcome, welcome. This doesn't work. That is unfortunate. What if we do one of the inputs here? Maybe that could work. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, I'm redoing the steel furnace lane. Well, I added an earlier steel furnace production that will just be on the far side of the coal lane because I realized, like, I did a count of how many furnaces I'll need before steel furnaces are automated, and it's like 500. So unless I want to do an upgrade planner over 400 furnaces later, I just figured I should start steel furnaces earlier because I don't I don't want to have to do an upgrade planner here. And I also don't think I want steel furnaces to be done second. So yeah, we're keeping steel later, which simplifies things a lot. Lets me get like the belts and stuff automated earlier. Only downside is I now have to. I do have to do a manual brick production. Because hand-fed bricks can carry you a while, at least through oil. They can't carry you through needing steel furnaces, which is unfortunate, but such is life. These will need red belt. But yeah, we'll need red belt in these as well. I haven't decided how we're going to do that. But I'm assuming we'll just have to do manual upgrades and be careful about how we place them. Okay, but this steel lane is good. This doesn't work. Except, actually, maybe it does work. Maybe it does work. Because we do have red belt by this point. I can use red belt here. Is there another way I can do it, though? Like, what if I change what side this outputs from? Like, if this goes here, and this goes here, does that work? I don't think we can really get it. I don't think we can really get it there, unfortunately, but I feel like it almost worked. Wait, I can use this belt. That simplifies things a lot. Wait, does it? Yes. Maybe. I think. Lots of emotions there. It possibly helps. It possibly helps. Because if this outputs now we can output one here. Okay, now we take this one, we move it. No, we don't move it. We keep it there. This could be an underground. Now we can output this way. Perfect. Okay, this puts them on one chest, which does this solve the problem that we originally had? It hasn't solved it yet, which is unfortunate. We have an input here. This can grab from that if I really wanted to. Honestly, yeah, those are pretty safe. That seems easier than connecting the coal grid up. Because if we're using a steel lane, we're severing the coal grid anyway, so I figured I might as well do some things to get off of it if I can. And these are safe. These are considered pretty safe. Safer than the brick lane, at least. What do we do about the brick lane? Do I need to put logic on the brick lane? I really don't want to, but like all of them are dead. We haven't even been like trying to kill this one and it's dead. Which is really bad. Really, really bad. We can double up on the inserters. That would work decently. But that doesn't work with the stone lane. I think we just put logic on it, right? I think we just put logic on it. Yeah, that should be fine. What do we do? Ooh, I have an idea. Wait, can they run if this thing only run if that thing's running? No, that doesn't do anything. Wait, I don't know how to read that. But yeah, these need to be on some kind of logic. I guess if we limit the throughput into this, we could just do coal is actually wait. Read about contents. This is the thing that's supposed to have coal is less than 3. I don't know if it's going to be solid fuel though, so this might not, or coal at this point, this might not work. It probably won't work. I did not set that up right. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of like the same logic as earlier with our splitter. This one's a little bit worse, but as long as you're limiting it by an inserter, this should be fine. If you're limiting it with a belt, obviously, like if I was doing this would keep it activated pretty much constantly, but since it's limited by a belt and inserter, I don't think an inserter by itself can saturate that. But that would work. Downside, this only works if we have coal here, or if we only have solid fuel here. But we can probably guarantee we only have solid fuel here. What's another option? Can we read a chem plant? No. Is a single burner inserter even fast enough for stone? Not exactly, but I think we have stack size 2 by this point, so it should be like 90% of the 95% of the speed, so it's close enough. But yeah, it is not fast enough until it gets stack size 3. But I figured it was close enough that I wasn't too worried about it. What is it? It's like 0.6 over like 0.625. 6 over 6. Yeah, it's like 95%. A little under 95% probably. And then this can go into a chest wherever. Wait. Here? Yeah, this should work. Now we can't output from there. Let's do it this way here. This lets us output from it later. I think. Probably doesn't matter. Maybe this way? Oh, wait, this one's way better. Because I would yeah, I don't know why I wasn't building it. I'm not used to having a line of coal on the side for these designs. Because we don't generally have a benefit from it leading into the assembling machines. But since this isn't a large stretch of assembling machines, we we changed the rules a little bit. Okay, there we go. This is not working. There we go. Oh, when I was moving the assemblers, they grabbed coal. Okay, cool. Production is decent. It's a pretty big step up from our old production, I imagine. Yeah, it triples our production, right? I think it doubles it should triple it. Because by this point, we have stack size 2. Because this was designed around having stack size 1. So by the time we get to this point, these will have a higher production, and these will have a higher production. So yeah, okay. We should be fine. And now these will start running fast enough now that they actually have stack size 2. Still not full speed, but yeah, pretty close. Logic here seems solid. Okay, yeah, this can work. I think we need to change this. Actually, yeah, we definitely need to change that to solid fuel. This is 100% going to be a solid fuel lane. So let's give it its own solid fuel for now. Change the logic to solid fuel is greater than 3, which at the moment will never happen. There we go. Now it's been clear. Actually, it might have happened. There's a chance it would have burned through the coal. That would have taken a while, though. Okay, and this produces fast enough. This is just kind of like a temporary thing. I'm not sure if I'll be doing local production or if I'll have a lane that like sends a bunch of splitters. There's advantages to both, but none of them matter. That it's not a huge difference either way. How are some of these flipped? Okay, you know, I could save a lot of undergrounds here if I sideload this. That might be good. Although, Yeah, I mean, that's probably worth it. Yeah, I mean, it saves a bunch of end caps. I don't love it though, but it does work. This wire, this disables all of the inserters until the belt backs up. Generally, with smelting lanes, you don't have to worry about something like that, but bricks in particular can brown out before they've grabbed any fuel, if you can't guarantee that the fuel backs up. Usually, like most lanes, we don't have to worry about that because it's all about the internal buffer of the machines. The internal buffer for ore is smaller than what kills an inserter, but for stone it is not. I think the internal buffer is, it's like what, 3 or 4 as opposed to 2, which is just enough to ruin it. Steel also has that problem, but steel has the easy fix of being able to, let's see, where's my steel lane? Steel has a similar fix, but you can just make it that coal goes to the steel lane first before it goes to the iron lane. Has the same effect as the wire. Basically, you just need to make sure fuel gets to this side before it gets to this side, and then you don't have buffer issues. So we are trying to limit how many things we have on logic, because logic adds up. So I'm trying to minimize it. Like, it has a pretty significant performance impact, considering it's logic that is solely for, if it's logic that's solely for not UPS saving, it's pretty bad. What if they only detected the tile in front? Faster startup, yes. Significantly worse performance, though. So that one we can do, but these work. This is better for performance. So, and the startup time isn't that much of an issue here. Like for just 12 tiles, it probably wouldn't matter. But like we just redesigned our lab lane earlier today because we did have, actually, where is it? This was our old lab lane, and we did what you suggested, and it works decent. It works really well. It's just, the only downside is you have, in this example, 2 sides of this, so we had 200 separate circuit networks, which does add up if you use it a lot. So we just switched to this one. But yeah, if startup time is important, or ends up being important, we can change that one, because that is just 12 entities will survive. There is an option of like counting it between like 2 of them. No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. But yeah, that one definitely works. This is working pretty well, though. I like this mall. It looks like we have a bunch of backup iron, but I think that's because we had circuits disconnected for a bit. It's really hard to say. We need to clear this, I think, in this section to see how much iron we actually have. Also, we need to fix batteries. But steel, let's see, steel and labs were the main goals for today. This seems to be working decently. We haven't buffered steel yet. I'm not looking forward to that. Oh, wait, I don't have to hand build it. Why do I care? Never mind. There's absolutely no reason for me to dread this. Actually, can I just do this? No, it doesn't matter. I've been dreading buffering steel because hand building a buffer is terrible. Ooh, wait. I want it to be a priode buffer, so that way inserters don't run unless they have to. Maybe I just do one-sided? Forget how bad buffers are. Okay. But yeah, this is just for initial bursts. Fuel here. Fuel here. This actually goes back onto the fuel grid. Ooh, maybe I could just get off the coal grid for a temporary section. That might be fine. Okay, so yeah, doing one buffer, pretty easy. This doesn't have the throughput it needs. I can't output from the side without doing like a little wiggle, which actually, that's fine. No, that works fine. So this is 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. Okay, how much does this produce? We actually have a rate calculator. It is only useful for furnaces, but it's useful for furnaces. We are looking at 7.5. Wow, this is exactly one belt. That means this balance probably isn't right. Let's see. Oh wait, sorry, that's exactly half a belt. Never mind, it doesn't matter how I sideload it. Wait, is that right? This is 7.5 exactly. Which means splitting the belts isn't really worth it. But it does help a little bit. So I think because it's so low... Actually, no. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Because we consume it. How did that brown out? Did I hand feed that? These should be pretty safe. That's weird. That's really weird. Huh. Stone lane, iron lane should be incredibly safe from brownouts unless you hand feed a furnace. So I'm guessing I hand fed the furnace. Or sorry, iron lanes. Actually, I can filter this too. No, wait, no, I can't. I mean, I can, it just won't have the effect I want. Okay, so this makes it that the buffer only runs if it's needed. That's good. I'm just doing... That's the wrong kind of chest. Let's do a steel chest. Okay, so this has a throughput of 1.2 times 4. That's technically enough. But it's pushing it. It's really pushing it. I should double it up. That would be this. Yeah, and the reason we don't want to use the buffer is because look how many inserters it takes to buffer this. It's insane. And then since we're on the coal grid, we can just send this straight up. Okay. This should be this is literally only half a lane of steel. And then we should have this, which we would have to belt weave to make use of that. I guess that's why we had it as the shorter lane. We could do this. Honestly, not a bad option. Or like a splitter. Could also work. If we want to use 2 halves. Make a second, like this. Or did you have a different idea? I guess I could just send the prio down. That might be an easier solution, huh? To just have the prio go up top. There's no reason it needs to go through the middle. Yeah, there's literally no reason for it to go to the middle. What am I thinking? Your idea was just repeating the entire buffer from the first splitter. Oh yeah, that's true. That would also work. I guess splitters probably aren't bad for performance, at least not to this degree. I don't think I need to care about splitters on performance. Or splitter performance, but yeah, we can just do, we can do this too. There's no real reason for us to have this center section. Move this down. Can we move this down? I think we can move this down. We can make it work. We'll leave that for now. I'll figure it out. Okay, I think it's just this end cap is complicating things. Let's just rotate it. There we go. That can brown out. This has a brownout risk. It's incredibly low, but it is there. I think it's too high. I don't think that's a risk I should take to save incredibly cheap undergrounds. It's very low, but if you get a low density of fuel, that turn is just enough to make this one have trouble running before it ever grabs one fuel. You have the same issue whenever you use coal grabbing, burner inserters grabbing from a splitter, going away from it. Same concept. Both only are safe at very high saturations, which would be these ones, but this lane would not be at a high saturation, so I want to avoid that. Okay, so now there should be no fuel on the belt. Uses a bit of extra undergrounds, that's fine. Now I can move this down. Way nicer. Okay, and then we can add a prio at the end. Actually, this might cause problems. I would want to sideload these, I think, to make sure they're on the same side. That's not that important to worry about, though. Actually, can I put the buffer here? Because there is this dead space here. We can probably do the buffer here. I like that. We won't be able to buffer the in stuff, but honestly, that's not a huge deal. And considering we only have half a lane anyway. Well, actually, we have half a lane, which means if we're using a buffer, I want to be able to use more than half a lane, so never mind. This one works. Or we can do like a side load. Because yeah, the whole point of a buffer is to be able to burst out stuff. If you have constant production at least. It's like, what if instead it looked like this? With like a splitter here. I don't know why. Oh, that's just from earlier. That doesn't cause any problems. Fuel, I'm not gonna bother fixing fuel right now. Same idea, just move it a little higher. Actually, yeah, why did I rotate it? There's no reason for me to rotate it. There we go. And then they output over here, and they can sideload, and everything works great. And I can even do 3. And that is enough. That's 7.2, which is pretty much all we'll have. I don't think I would ever need to buffer more than that. So we should be good. Now we can move it up a tile. I don't know which one will be better for fuel lane. Realistically, we can probably do this. And then even split the fuel here. Because I don't have to hand build this part, so we can do whatever the heck we want with this. We can make a W if we really want to. It's fantastic. Okay, so this one is pretty safe because it's going towards it and there's nothing on the other side. And then we would need another splitter. Okay. Maybe we should just get another lane. Or you just cut it. Yeah, good enough. For now, I'll add the splitter. I'm going to look at this later and be like, yeah, this was useless, but, you know, it's there for now. This is kind of just like a message saying, hey, I need to think about this later. And doing some kind of example will help with that. Okay, now we can sideload those, and it should be good. If we do it like this, we do need to make sure we take from the input side first, but I don't think that really matters. You could also combine them into a splitter like this. Input prio left, and then send it down. I think that would also work. Actually, yeah, that would also work. So it will prioritize this stuff, but send half a lane through. Because once the buffer runs out, nothing happens. We're all good. I'm just hoping this gets us like a little bit of extra steel. But there's a chance we don't need a buffer. I don't really know. Oh, right, thanks. I only reversed the first section. There we go. Okay, so that fits nicely there, and we can always cut it if we don't need it. Because I really don't know if we need it yet. And now there's room for the bricks. Oh, hold on, I have a message. Important. No, it's not. Okay, cool. I don't think. Okay, yeah. My phone was blinking, which I thought was a text message, but it was just a Discord thing, which is, you know, not not important. Okay. But yeah, we can send the steel furnaces through the middle. Yeah, I don't know if steel buffer is helpful. I think this is too late for buffers to be useful, but buffers are way too awful to hand build for the most part. So I haven't designed anything with a buffer in mind yet. Like, I really haven't. We might be able to fit a buffer in here, but it's just with the cost of all the undergrounds you need and the time it takes to build it, I feel like you can almost just make another furnace lane and just not bother with buffers in the time it takes to make a buffer. It's not that extreme, but But it's not that extreme, but it's not like high priority. Furnaces can buffer. That's fair. They can, especially if we do like a red output upgrade earlier. That basically will make it start using the buffer. We could also do like we could do a half buffer. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Just have a couple spots that are like chests, and occasionally we can just like move stuff. Okay. Also, these batteries don't work at all. We don't have an input for them. We don't have a way to output from them. We need 4 battery assemblers. I think that part's good. Let's see. Is the power pole the problem? No. Okay, but yeah, basically the issue here is we have this pipe. We have a double input, which I don't know why. Why do we have a double input here? Maybe I was oh, I was probably thinking sulfuric. Yeah, I just copied it from sulfuric. Okay, so maybe if we don't have that, we might be able to get batteries fueled pretty easily. Because now we have a space down here to work with, which can maybe easy is the wrong word. Let's move that up. There's still iron on this lane. I think I decided not to do that. I had an idea for the first gear lane to design it with input inserters on the side, and we have like a splitter that puts coal onto the side or iron onto the same belt as the coal, which would do a little bit, but down because we can use circuit logic, and this uses the they read the one directly across from it to make sure they run. But I don't know if it ended up saving a lot of space. It might have been necessary. Maybe we did design it with that in mind, because I think the other design ended up being this much wider, and since green chips won't be that wide, maybe we do design it like that. We can actually, yeah, we can guarantee that there's just coal on this pretty easily, right? Oh, this is awful to hand build. Yeah, this would be terrible to hand build. I would have to do this for all of these because iron's gone the wrong side. I don't love that. Might be worth it. It does decrease the size of this by like 50%, which is pretty large. And it's not like a scalable thing, so maybe it's fine. There's barely enough coal going through there. Well, okay, there's enough coal going through here. It depends where I put my second plastic lane. But there is plenty of coal. So yeah, we might be good there. Okay, so this needs to be hand buildable. That's the problem I'm running into right now. Looks like only every other coal lane has such inserters. Right. Yeah. That was just to reduce splitters. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, it reduces the cost a little bit. That does technically make it 50% less awful to hand build. When another option, actually this isn't a bad option. We do have this option too. Of using not a splitter here. Downside of this approach is it has a limited throughput, but you can always increase it with more inserters. I would not want this for everything because it does waste a lot of it takes a lot. It takes a lot of inserters. You would need like 3 to satisfy everything I have right now. But it puts everything on the right side. Don't know if that's worth it. Haven't decided. I think in an any percent setting, which was the first time I did burner stuff, those kinds of designs work a lot better. I think in a 100% setting, they're a lot less beneficial because that's a lot of extra burner actions, and it's a lot more of a base that you're trying to feed with it. Whereas this gives you the ability to have a lot of rows fill very fast. Okay, so yeah, we just need to sideload it awkwardly. Fortunately, we have blueprints. Okay, I think I built that right. Yeah, that won't be something that's easy to mess up, so we should be fine. Okay, and then we need to figure out some way to filter it so only coal goes to these lanes without losing throughput. I think we're going to have like a weird splitter design here that we have to build. Because we take coal directly on these lanes, and I want to eventually replace these with solid fuel. Or maybe what I do is I just do solid fuel here, connect it here and forward, and hope that coal works here. I don't know, that's something we won't know if it's necessary until like the whole lane is built. Like the whole base is built. But it's simple enough that it will be easy, fairly easy to convert everything. Okay, this looks easy enough to hand feed. Honestly, yeah, this is pretty hand buildable right here. I think this should work. Let's see if there's a downside. Or let's make sure it actually fits before I say that. It's a little bit awkward, but they're all going to be awkward. Does it actually tessellate? Need to rotate the other way. Is it easier if we rotate it and alternate it? No, it's not. Why does it work for this one but not this one? Oh, this one doesn't have a splitter. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't work. How did I design this the first time? I swear this was working in my head. Do we just redesign it? I mean, we have the space to redesign it. I don't have to stick with this design. We have... Oops. Yeah, we have all this space to work with. Oh, I know it's only like 4 more tiles, but that's enough space. Like, that makes the difference, I think. We have not figured out how to get steel yet here, so that's going to be fun. Was that a tile too high? Yes, it was. Give it coal. Coal. That doesn't work because of the infinity thing. That's fine. Actually, no, it's not fine. There's no way to connect that. Oh, yeah, it's because of the infinity water. That's the problem. Never mind. Yeah, there's a way to connect that very easily. Okay, this will be smart beltable, so for this section, we'll be having things spaced based on what smart belt wants, not based on belt savings. Haven't really done that yet. So we're going to have a lot of redesigning later, which will be interesting. It's going to take a while. Okay, so these run. This has enough input. I don't want to get off the coal grid, but I might have to. See, what other options do we have? We could just get off like the... Maybe I just do this. I think that's the easiest option. Maybe we can do... Can we do all pipes here? That's pretty easy to build. This isn't bad. And then Smart Belt will build the rest of it, and then we do the coal lane, which will do the rest of it. Order doesn't matter, but we'll just need to make sure we do the right order when we build it, so our blueprints don't complain. Okay, so that uses 1 more tile, but because we have this space up here, that's fine. Then we need to actually build all the outputs, of course. Does it matter what side these go on? No. As long as they're on the same side for easy building. Okay. Okay, I think this works. Originally, I was actually going to build it with underground pipes, but underground pipes are more expensive and harder to place than an underground belt. Because this can just do smart belt. Voila. Okay, now we have batteries. And now we can put this back in the original spot. Although realistically, we don't need to. Also, we could do more sulfuric acid if I want to. Which again, I don't think I need to. I'm not really sure. I haven't done a base that produces... What's my goal? I don't think I've ever done a base that produces 250 science per minute. I don't know how much sulfuric acid you need for that. I have not done the math. So I don't know if this is enough or if I'll need more somewhere else. But like if we add another here, that's probably enough for the entire run. Not entirely sure. Also, we might just have more battery production somewhere else. My late game isn't fully defined yet. But I feel like this could work. 4 battery assemblers and then space for one more sulfuric assembler. That could be good. I mean, it fits nicely. It uses the whole lane. This is rotated the wrong way. But we don't even have to build this section by hand. That's why I'm thinking it might be worth expanding. Because we can build these 4 and we can build these 2. Or even just this one. And then bots can build this section. No problem. Okay, maybe a little bit of a problem. We would have to build this pipe, but it's manageable. Now, where did these batteries... where did these batteries go? Is this the battery lane? Yes. Is it on the right side? I don't actually know if that's on the correct side. Yeah, I'm not used to these. I think... Okay, if it's on the inside, you read 2. If it's on the outside, you read 1. Fairly sure that's how it works. Also, this isn't connected right. Am I doing white science? Oh, yeah. It's required for all the achievements. We need... you need at least... it's like 8,000 or something. 7 or 8,000 with prod mods. And then you need another... Well, then I'll personally need another like 10,000 for mining productivity researches over what a normal run would do. Then you need just under 3 sulfuric acid. Okay, cool. So this would barely be enough. We can also add speed mods to it as well. Actually, do these run full speed? I don't know if these run full speed. I don't think they could run full speed with this speed. These can't. We can't speed mod these, can we? No. Okay, so yeah, we'll need a separate plant somewhere, I think. Because with 2 assemblers, yeah, with 2, this can't run full speed. This runs at like 90% speed, so speed mods won't help. That's good to know. Okay. Yeah, thanks for checking. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep that in mind then. More sulfuric for later, which means we can probably keep this one small. Let's see, where is that? Edit. Decrease original down to 1 or 2. We might as well save the resources if we can't utilize it, or maybe we can utilize it and then have like 1 assembler in some random spot. Yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, we have this is our science setup right now. Not sure, haven't decided yet. This obviously is wasteful of beacons, like we were discussing that earlier. It wastes modules. It's a little bit more expensive, but it means we don't have to do a second one if we design it like this. So I'm not really sure if that's that important yet. Because at the end of the day, the cost difference isn't huge if I'm just converting the lab. Now, if I'm making a new lab setup, that changes things. If I'm making a new lab setup and not repurposing the original, there's absolutely no reason for me not to do the cheap one. But I don't know if that's worth it yet. Because I think my research requirement is a little bit lower than a normal 100% run because, you know, it's taking almost 3 times as long. That simplifies things a little bit. But yeah, let's try to get on like the main coal grid again. That would be nice. That would simplify a lot of things. We don't have any form of compressor here, which is kind of annoying, but this should be fine for testing purposes. Because we're usually only testing one section at a time. What is this? I think this was part of my on-patch mall or something. No, this is part of this. Okay, we'll ignore that then. Okay, and then I don't know how long this is. This is all the space we have to work with for our mall, which seems like a lot, but I don't think it really is. These are all wrong. These undergrounds don't look like that. We'll fix that later. That'll come down to I think the final. Well, once we've finalized the base, there's no point for me trying to like save undergrounds right now. Okay, so the coal grid. Ooh, wait. I just realized these labs aren't on the coal grid, but we have stuff above the labs. What options does that leave us? We could either... We could either go around it with the coal grid, which would decrease the total throughput, but it is an option. Two-sided coal grid? Well, two-sided coal grid isn't an option right now because of how expensive it is to get started and have everything go the same direction. We will be doing a two-sided coal grid later, but it's not viable pre-bots. Wait, did I just fix this one? But yeah, once we get to bots, shortly after we get to bots, we do start using a separate coal grid. But for now, everything has to be built in one direction because build speed is super important here. And having things in one direction makes the build speed very, very fast. And everything's consistent. But yeah, that's why the coal grid is so nice. It makes the builds reliable and it's good for build speed. Double whammy. But this lab is kind of in the way. We could put the lab on the other side. We could put the labs here. That's an option. That's a very viable option. It only wastes 50 belt. That's fine. Latency isn't going to be that drastic. It's going to be like 15. Yeah, we could do that. We can route around it too. So we can either snake around it or we can move it. I think it will come down to if we use this space, we can maybe shift the labs over there. But yeah, realistically, we're just gonna do that one and route around it because that only uses one underground here, and then a new coal grid here. No idea how much coal we actually need here. That is kind of the downside. Who knows how much we need on the end. But because this is post bots, we can make do with a small amount of coal here and then add more later. Like we can very easily add coal right there. Am I happy with this engine build? I wanted the engine build to be more like here, but I don't think that's that great of an option, is it? See, we haven't figured out where lube is coming from yet. We haven't done advanced oil, but that's because advanced oil is just vanilla. It's just a matter of connecting it. So we've been putting that off. Yeah, we could put this something like here, but I guess that makes this spot harder to use. See, we might as well keep it down there. Maybe we can have some like petroleum processing here or something. No idea what that's doing there. Is that where I expect to make my locomotives? That's ambitious of me. That's where I'm supposed to start automating them early. I think that's what that is. This is me wanting to get some backed up before I go to my first outpost, so I start it like an hour earlier than it's necessary, so that way we have enough for our first train. Because we're not producing more until this section after that. I'm pretty sure this is not what I intend to use for Gotlap, because it's very ambitious of me to think I can do blue science and then Gotlap with burner inserters. With I think I could do it in 2 hours maybe, but 90 minutes is yeah, not with burner inserters. Unless you just completely forsake your like starter base. Yeah, we can move this here. Honestly, we don't need beacons on both sides. If I really wanted to, I could save beacons and just have all of them be one-sided. Yeah, we'll just leave it here. Routing around is probably the strat here. It actually needs to go one tile up, though, if we want the splitters to work. Well, if we want the splitters to be balanced, we can make the splitters work if it's just like right here. It's just only going to take from one side, which causes problems if you don't have balancers. Okay, so this puts it back on the coal grid. I think these are all like one tile off, right? I remember them being a little bit off. Yeah, okay, so we can either move them to the left or to the right. Let's see, which is better. That makes it very tight, but it's technically viable, but it's harder to build. That makes it really weird to build, doesn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it makes it really weird to route things. Doesn't seem like it would save enough tiles for it to be worth the stress. So let's move it here. We can actually delete that and move it a little bit up though, which could be nice. Okay, so now what? This goes down? I don't know how all these got off. Okay, this doesn't really work, does it? Maybe if this goes over a tile? I feel like this is so close to being perfect, but it's not. See, that's red belt up there. This is green belt. Honestly, yeah, it kind of works. That's gears. We can get gears from here and here. Those could go there. That's not a storage. This is supposed to be a storage chest. What are you doing? Or maybe that's supposed to be an iron chest. Not sure. Is it easier if I switch which side things are on? I think it is. I think if I have these outputting up top, then it's very easy to route them to green science. So that simplifies things a little bit. I think the way I have it set up, iron is I have an iron and gears belt, and then like in gears and circuit belt. I don't remember. Maybe I should have looked at it before I deleted it, because I wasn't really happy with their routing. Let's see if we can undo enough. Probably not. We're going slow because we're getting to the point where it shifts way more. Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, so how do we have it? We had a gears and circuits, and then this wasn't built. Okay, so we don't have anything we have to worry about. That's cool. Let's see, none of these have to go onto a belt, so that means we can make this as compact as we need it. That's good. I hate how large our mall is, but yeah, that's what burners do to you. You make everything is very, very large, or on a circuit network. But I think this has too high of a throughput to use sushi here. We could do some kind of sushi mall. I just don't know. Don't know if it's really worth it. Don't know if it changes any. I don't think it ends up simplifying things, but I had thought about doing a sushi mall. But yeah, this doesn't do anything. This is just pure iron. I think this is supposed to supplement that. This was clearly copied from something else that we decided not to build. No idea what this was. Or no idea why this is off. Okay, it should be good now. We're gonna need like a splitter here. I don't think we are using a combinator anymore. We might not need combinators. We had a constant combinator in one of our designs, but I think we decided against it. Yeah, because the design it was in was it was a different version of this gear. It was the different version of this gear section. It used a combinator. Constants are lame anyway. Well, okay, so you know how, remember this logic, the stone logic I had here? So we had something similar, but we had it set up using a constant combinator to subtract like iron, and we also subtracted stone, or all the fuels from it too. So the idea was to make this kind of logic, but make it functional with any fuel. So that way, if we eventually switch to solid fuel, we don't have to worry about like separating belts. So I think the idea is still there. We just don't need it yet. I think we delayed when we need that, because I think that's a good idea to have anytime we have this kind of circuit logic. Because converting to solid fuel would be very useful. But yeah, we definitely don't need it earlier, which is great because it seemed kind of annoying to hand build. Not really. I guess it's pretty easy to hand build, but I don't want to have to do it. And then I could probably put these in a different spot too. That gives me a lot of space to work with here now, which I like. That gives me a lot more. Okay, yeah, we should do it early. This doesn't work, but conceptually it's there. This isn't a coal grid. That's the steel lane. Yeah, we can make this work. Yeah, we'll just route around it. Yeah, this should not be a problem whenever we actually get it built. Is this gonna go here now? I can't go there. We'll figure it out. There is space here for there is definitely space here for that. We can even cut one of these. There's no reason we need this many, considering our mold uses like 5% green chips compared to gears. We don't need them in a 1-to-1 ratio. So that gives us a lot of space to put things there. Okay. So now that we've fixed that, let's save a backup. I haven't saved in a while, other than the auto saves. Now we should be able to shift. We can shift this bottom section, which is still useful, right? Yeah, because that shifts the labs. Now this can go. We might be able to shift it all the way over there, but I don't think that's worth it. I think we should leave this gap. Not sure yet. Yeah, it looks like we can put it on the coal grid now, so that's good. Coal. Not enough coal. Okay, this needs some undergrounds in between it to connect them. But yeah, I think conceptually this works. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Underground, and then... Yeah, it's gonna be fun to fix all of this. Can't wait to make sure all of these are actually built correctly. That'll be a fun few days, for sure. I think if I change what side these go on, this is actually easier, right? Or we can side load it earlier. And then, actually, yeah, I think I'm right. I think I mirror this. Still haven't decided what these are. I can't decide what these are doing there. I think my idea was that iron always comes around the sides, or gears come around the back, and iron goes to the middle. Or maybe I had an iron and gear somewhere. I think this was just placeholder. I think that's why I can't figure it out. None of this was is functional yet. This was we don't care that much about it. It's just pasting the same design like 10 times, and it's on the edge of our base, so it's not like it needed to be perfect. It just needs to be on the coal grid. So that way I know what space I'm working with. Now this part's tricky. This is some messy sushi. So I don't think we'll be able to shift it over 3 tiles to the left to get onto the coal grid here. Unless we do the sushi like up top. But realistically we have to shift it 2 tiles to the right instead. Which, not a problem, but it is a bummer because I wanted it to be a little bit smaller. So this was here, we just move it 2 tiles to the right, and now it's on the coal grid. Then we can probably move it 2 tiles down as well. Now that it's built there. So that goes here. Okay. Sushi is here. We need to reconnect things. 2 tiles down, 2 tiles down. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, we can clean up the connections. I think we'll be fine. And then I don't know what that was. Steel, maybe? This is definitely pipes. This is definitely gears. I think this was the steel lane, which currently we don't have routed over here. But I imagine it's not going to be too difficult. We can probably just cut through this section. Yeah, it looks like we can cut the steel lane through there. So I'm thinking steel goes up. And it just goes right through there. It should work perfectly. Oh, that's a mess. Ooh, okay. Yikes. Okay, we can make that work, but this is definitely not what I wanted. This is just a little bit messier than it should be. Say, what if we move that up? Okay, that's pretty decent. That's fairly solid. It's something that we can fix pretty easily later, I say. Hopefully that's the steel lane. I think it's a steel lane. Does it matter what side? No. This we have pure steel and we have logic steel. Okay, cool. Now we just need to make sure we actually have the coal connected, so that way we have our coal lane good. The whole point of this the reason that I'm shifting this right now, even though it's not fully done, I've been building things based on the coal grid, and I'll be building a bit more based on the coal grid. And it's up until this point, I've been doing a lot of manual connections every time I change something. What the heck is this? This is off. I've had to do some manual connections every time, which is a little bit tedious and a little bit inconsistent. So we were trying to get them on the main coal grids. That way, if I connect something, it builds automatically. It does make it harder to test if I'm doing a UPS test, but it makes it way nicer to build things whole base as I go. That was a very loud thud. Don't know if that went through, but there was a very, very loud thud in the house. Good times. People are loud here. Don't think there's another way to phrase that. Okay. Hopefully these are all connected. There is not nearly enough coal there, but I mean, they're connected though. That's what matters, right? Yeah, no idea what this is supposed to be. I think this is supposed to be an iron supplement lane. Maybe do them all next time. Yeah, I think that would be a good goal for next time. Finish starter base mall, I think. Because it's not like the starter mall, but it's the starter mall in the base. Steel furnace production, I think it's pretty low, actually. We'll need more steel furnaces somewhere. Although I don't know if it's an inserter limit or an assembly machine limit. It's a steel limit. What? Oh, this grabbed fuel one time. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping this would be enough steel furnaces for like our final outpost, but I feel like that's unlikely if it's only producing like 20 per minute, I think. Which is not, so it sounds like a decent amount, but considering we want an outpost every like 15 minutes, that is, I don't remember how much is in the outpost. I think it's something like 400 furnaces. Or 300 furnaces. Hey, you know what? That's actually the perfect amount. Maybe it's fine. Coal is not connected all the way through here. How do we do this easily? Why do I have so many like stubs? That complicates things. I guess that's what happens when you're building things in sections. Like you're going to get stubs. They're not a big deal, but they happen. Okay, so the coal grid can truncate here, which means we can actually we can just wait for bots to fix this with a red belt. Because I don't think there's any reason for me to have to hand build this section. That's nice. I like taking that. That's a nice shortcut to take. This is supposed to be circuits, right? Yeah, this goes here. This is gears and copper. This is supposed to be these things. So yeah, there's pretty much a guarantee that this is supposed to be mirrored, because that makes it so much easier to have this already up there. Because otherwise we have to loop this around like so, which I guess that's not hard at all. Let's build it for now just so I can see the connections. And then how do I do this? This part's a bit weird. So I wanted the gears on the right. Ooh, I could do this. This might be a good way to get gears over here. Yeah, that's not terrible to build. Then the coal lane goes down the middle. Those output there. This goes straight across as well. Iron goes straight across. This doesn't run, but you know, it's something. We'll figure out connections. This is a bit messier than I would like. Also, does it get enough copper? I think it gets enough copper. Yeah, it's not possible for this to use all the copper, I don't think. So yeah, this guarantees there's always going to be some going towards science. Yeah, I think the coal grids look correct. They're not getting enough coal, which makes sense because we only have like a single thing of coal, and we don't have any form of prio. But that's something we'll have to fix later anyway. Because the connections for coal are going to be awkward. We're basically going to have a whole bunch of like side loading probably instead of splitter prios, because if we do side loading, we can do it with blueprints without having to place splitters ahead of time. Whereas if we have a compressor at various points, we have to build those initially because of bot blueprinting. So yeah, I'm thinking we'll probably just be side-loading coal at various spots for balance purposes, which doesn't work quite as well in terms of like overall throughput, but it makes it better in terms of how we have to be connecting things. And then this goes down to tiles. Copy that, copy this. I have no idea. Okay, I see now. I guess I do have an idea. It's weird that all of these are built wrong, but it looks like I built something wrong once and then copied it like 3 times, which would make sense. It would be even weirder if only one was wrong, I guess, than if every other was wrong. Because I clearly was trying to tessellate it and didn't do it perfectly. And then these are still missing the coal grid. Wait, how are these not on the same grid as the bottom one? Oh, wait, what? What happened here? Is this fixable? I mean, yeah, obviously this is fixable, but how did that happen? Do we just shift it over one tile? I think it's as easy as just shifting it over a tile, right? Pretty sure that's all we have to do. Shift this section right here. And then this one goes over here. Okay, now it's on the correct grid. Okay, there we go. That's much nicer. Now it's on the coal grid again. Which this coal grid doesn't go anywhere. Maybe that's why I wasn't worried about it, because the coal grid leads nowhere. And then this is no longer on a coal grid, but I think we can put it on one pretty easily. Yeah, okay. Oh, so we do use that space. It actually works out perfectly. Oh, wow. That works perfect. Like, genuinely fits very nicely in there. I thought it was just going to be, like, all right. And then, I don't know how we connect these. Maybe these go off the coal grid as well. Because this seems like something that I couldn't really justify all of these splitters for. Because these look like they'll be running a couple assembly machines tops. Which is a hard sell. Unless, I guess we'll probably have purple and yellow signs up here. Maybe, because I imagine we build up this direction and then we start filling in this section. We probably have a lot of stuff here. We just haven't got around to it yet. Because right now we've been working on the mall expansions. Okay. Now that looks pretty decent. Well, obviously we can clean up belts later. Actually, we'll be increasing the amount of belt later. Right now we have everything as undergrounds for easy building or easy copying. But since we'll be optimized for placement speed, all of these undergrounds are pretty much going to be straight. We won't have any form of belt saving here because it's all about placement speed. Because doing this is way faster than doing, something like this. Because yay, we have smart belt. We might as well use it. Okay, honestly, the base is coming along nicely. Next time, we'll start working on stage 2. Which, and then we'll have to do somehow add stages under it. Hopefully it could work that way. Because we haven't staged this section yet. I haven't been worried about that. Which, I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't. This isn't a ton of entities, but we should probably stage this section. I mean, it's okay, it's like a few thousand entities, but the world doesn't end if we don't stage it. But I feel like we should at least have a stage for this first part. But I don't really know how to... I don't know how to use this mod that well. I have it installed, so that way I can start thinking about it, but... yeah, we'll have to practice with it next time. Because next time is going to be the first real stage the new stage that we've made since the mod started, since everything before was editing stuff we've already made. But that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow with space exploration, or it should be space exploration, because I just want to do this 3 to 4 times a week. Then Monday we'll have a meme run. Not entirely sure which one. I haven't decided yet, but I do have a few ideas depending on how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll do object permanence. Someone's been suggesting that for a while. See what happens when I can't delete things, what kind of messes we make. But hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.